Hey, son, you got time to talk?
Of course I do.
Let's get it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. My name is Alex.
And my name is Sarah, and welcome to the Sun.
And the Moon Talks.
Yay!
So, we're really
Amazing.
excited to be here with you all. It is our first time on video together, first time seeing y'all, and really excited to share why we're here and what brought us together to co create this.
Yeah, so a little bit about how this time is going to go is we are going to talk a little bit about why we started, why we're starting this channel, what this means, a little bit about what we'll be talking about. Then we will dive into who we are and what we're doing. And then we have a lot of other magical things to share with you throughout this time together.
Thank you for the rundown. Uh, Both Sarah and I are Cancer sons. And if you have any Cancer placements, you know that we like to be in the house. We like to be with ourselves. We're sociable, but we have our closed bubble. And so we were just noticing that we do so many cool things and we have so many awesome services to offer people, but we can be really Cancerian like that and not really share it. So on my end, I really wanted to um, break out of my shell a bit more by collaborating with Sarah, a fellow Cancerian. So for me, that's why I decided to start the channel. What about you, Sarah?
I think it's very similar to what you just said. Again, cancers, we like to be in our shell, in our house. And, we both do amazing things. And we can only go so far if no one knows what we're doing and who we are and how amazing each of our personalities are. So this was our chance to kind of come together and not only share pieces of us, but also like share the things that we love with you guys. We do again so many great things, and all of these
Mhm.
great things have importance in our lives and how we can move forward in a more authentic way. And so great time for us to come together and build community around both of our offerings, because the sun and the moon talks did come from the work that we do, and so just to kind of move into that direction,
Perfect.
Alex. Yes, thank you. This is our first episode, so we're still a little rusty, but we're getting it. So Alex, you're amazing. Alex owns many amazing businesses, but the one that I think would be great to share is about Azul Metzli. But before you even do that, I think people need to know just how awesome you are in the mastermind behind that. So please share about who you are, what you do, where you live, like what inspired you. Give it to us, please.
Give it to you. Hi everyone. So I go by Alex. I'm from the Southwest United States, which is often ignored. It's the place of New Mexico, southern New Mexico, and far west Texas called El Paso, Texas. We are in Apache and Tigua lands, and I live right on the border town to Mexico. My mother's family immigrated here in the 70s, and I love to share this fact, but the very house that I am in right now was built by my grandfather. And he set this foundation for us that I proudly stand in today. And yeah, Sarah was saying, what I really want to highlight in this journey with talking with all of y'all is Azul Metzli. And Azul is the Spanish word for blue. Metzli is the indigenous Nahuatl word for moon. Together, they mean blue moon. And it's an ode to my 13-year-old self who created this world and this character called Alexis Blue Moon. And through that vehicle, through writing that vehicle, I created just this world where I was always on an adventure. And so Azul Metzli now combines that spirited self and brings it into reality. And the core concept is travel, but not just physical travel. Like I go from point A to point B, but internal travel as well. I really live by the saying as above, so below. So as far as I can travel out into another country, I've been able to delve within myself. Um, since I have traveled several different places, I've lived in 6 different places. I lived in the UK as well. I've also done a lot of internal healing work using modalities like Reiki, curandismo, herbalism. And I use those modalities to help people to travel within themselves, within the psyche, to do shadow work, child integration, star seeds. I could go on about the myriad ways that you can travel within yourself, but that's the basic concept of Asun Metzli. I want people to shed their indifference to life and really just start living. You know, indifference is the opposite of love. Like, it's not hate. Indifference is what keeps a lot of us frozen. And to me, like, travel is the antidote in whatever direction you move into. So that's a little bit about Asun Metzli. And the way that I met Sarah was when I lived in Colorado. We are both part of this group called Young Black Women of Denver. They're still around, by the way. So if you're in Denver and you're listening to this, that group is still around. Go make friends. Find the Facebook group. That's what still exists. When I met Sarah, she was already on this artistic, like, self journey, like just owning it. And I remember when I met her, I knew I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready yet, but I like put a pin in my mind, like, I'll be ready one day to like co-create with Sarah. So when Asun Metzli was born, that was one of the first things that I did was reach out to her and to see how we can both swap services, but co-create something together. So I'm really excited to turn it back to Sarah to hear more about what her innovative and self journey and her work is that she's going to share with us, because it complements Asun Metzli so well.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Again, you summarize everything, but gosh, there's like so much more amazingness about you. So I'm excited for us to kind of dive into that as the episodes progress. But
Definitely.
yes, Alex is an amazing person. I'm so honored that we got to meet on the off chance that both of us were outside, because again, we're Cancerians. We like to be inside. So the fact that we're outside at the same time means that it was like divine that we crossed paths. So always appreciate it. And also, yeah, you are, I'm like, to be an adventurer, and then like you're one of the few people that pop into my head. So being an adventurer is a dream. And so to know that there's people out there that are actually living that, especially a woman of color, is like, yes, please. So love all of that. I just had to name that first because it'll slip my mind and we'll get too carried away. Um, so yes, I am in Colorado, but I originally born and raised in California, and I came here to learn how to start a business. So I went to grad school, and I went to grad school at Naropa. So if there's any weirdos out there that know what that school is, shouts out to you. But but through Naropa, I got my master's in environmental leadership, and I knew that whatever I created, it had to be meaningful and it had to create a positive change in people's lives. And so, long story short ish, is I learned about the amazing power of mindfulness meditation. And I also came across the idea of play, and just the fact that that's an industry and people gather and do research and study around play. And it's who I am, intrinsically. So I was like, all right, let me figure out how I can bring play into work, which in turn became, how do I embody play? How do I bring play in all situations, in all times, through mindset? So I do that through Curious Sunshine. That's where the sun part comes in. But yes, I started Curious Sunshine in 2018, and the point of that was to really show people how to play again, especially in society, just knowing how much against the grain it is for us to follow our joy and follow our whimsy. Um, I was more than welcome to accept the challenge. And so, um, being that way has helped me through a lot of dark times, and still currently helps me through dark times, is finding that joy, finding that whimsy, and being mindful about how I approach it. And so to teach that to people in various ways and various aspects is super fulfilling, and I love it. And I could have never imagined that I would be in a space where I'm doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
very excited about being there and being able to offer this to to the world. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Did I
And
did I miss?
also, Sarah, you do a lot of creative projects around Denver as well.
I do. Yes, I do. I wear many hats. And outside of doing playful wellness, I am also an artist. So I do murals. You can see one of my murals in downtown Denver across the Belco Theater on the Cherry Creek Trail. That's just one of many. Um, yes, so I
Mm-hmm.
do art, and I call myself a playful alchemist because I try and bring play into all these different parts of my life. So I do painting, I do wellness, and I also do a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure will
Mm-hmm.
come out in the future.
And talking about play, talk to us a little bit more about your outfit right now.
Yes. So, as you can see, we are, dressed a little eccentric. And that's because for our first episode, we decided to dress up as our brand and really show folks, what it means to actually deeply embody what you do and deeply embody your passions and your love. And so to me, play is more than just spending time aside to, play some video games. But it's more of, how do I show people that I'm playful by just them looking at me, which is hard because, as a black woman, play is not the first thing that comes to people's heads when they see, someone that looks like you and I. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, how do I do this? And that was the main question. I got carried away, but it's because I love dressing up, guys. That's the thing. So I have the yellow for the sunshine, right? Yes, the little blingages for, making that joy ourselves. And then I have these rose colored glasses because I know it's like not the best term, but I do love seeing the world in rose colored glasses. Um,
Hmm.
even if it's just for a little bit, and even if I'm aware, totally fine.
Hmm.
Um, I got some colorful dots here.
I
This was
love
that
it. It
was
looks like sparkle freckles.
Thank you. It was something that was workshopped for like another thing, and I was like, I like the idea of having like confetti face, where it's like, what does it look like
Hmm.
if I just like came out of a confetti portal? And so that was the confetti thing that I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with it. And then I have these goggles. They're kind of weird. They're kind of kooky, but I also consider myself a weird and kooky inventor because I keep always inventing these ways of how to deliver play. And I'm an alchemist, so I'm in the lab. Plus, I feel like in some alternative universe, I did pursue my passion of being a chemist.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna ride that wave. But yeah, so I try to do all of it together. So then I'm eye catching, I'm bold, but also playful. And you're like, ooh, I'm curious about that sunshine. Okay, that was it. That was it. Okay, Alex, your turn. Tell us about your outfit.
Yeah, so my outfit's kind of like an adult version of Alexis Blue Moon's outfit. So as I mentioned, my brand is based off this character that I created when I was a preteen. And if anyone is a Lord of the Rings fan, Alexis existed in that universe, and she was part wizard and part elf. And at the time, I created like this blue dress, it had a hood, but it was very like 13-year-old kind of cute. So, this is kind of like Alexis Blue Moon has grown up. So I kept my hood. But some things are showing, I'm like not ashamed to show some stuff. And I have my skeleton hands. because another modality that I bring into Asun Metzli is I am a death doula. So I sit with people towards their end of the life. I support families and estate planning, but also a lot of spiritual support. So I like to wear that across my neck. And I definitely need to upgrade my makeup skills, but most of it just goes in my hair. Like I feel like my hair is my biggest aesthetic. And yeah, that is simply mine. You know, I'm just kind of like Alexis Blue Moon grown up a bit. And I embody her now in her mature form.
I love it. As soon I like your the I don't even know what this is called. The
Oh
forehead.
yeah.
The
I was like,
forehead.
I just needed to like direct the third eye because when I do Reiki or any type of healing energy, I really tap into what is the energy around here, the third chakra. So that's just something that I am also embedding into the look of Aswin Metzli as well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I love it. As soon as I saw your outfit, I was like, it's giving exactly what you said. So the fact that you're like Lord of the Rings era, I was like, yup, you nailed it because that's it. And you're like the magical one in the story where it's like mayhem strikes and they're like, go see Alex. He has all the answers. And then you're like in this magical like home and you walk in and there's all these things going on. You're like, hello.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember very intentionally creating my character to be the mix of the wizard and the elf because, to my knowledge, that mixture doesn't exist in that universe. If you see the races mix, it'll be like elves and men. So if people know this, like Viggo Mortensen or who plays Aragorn, that's his, his race. But I was like, I am mixed race, and it's being Mexican and Black is a big part of how I've experienced my life. So I really wanted to bring that forth in my character as well.
Wait, I love that. That's
Mix the
amazing.
modalities.
Yes. Also, did you guys hear she's a death doula? I think that's so cool. I don't think, I mean, I have mixed feelings about death. I think it's cool, but I think it's cool that people work with that as well because it could be so scary depending on what culture you're in. And I know,
Definitely.
and I know the culture here is very much has a lot of feelings that maybe are a little on the lower end of vibration about death. And if you have the right guidance and the right person to really hold your hand through that process, you can really transform the way you deal with death because it's one thing you can't change.
Yeah, it's the ultimate travel destination. Right now, my slogan for Asun Metzli is that quote from Peter Pan, to die would be an awfully big adventure. But I know many people, fear death rightfully, and I got into this work because that's who I was. And death has been just such a major player in my life. It has shaped everything of my life. So I very proudly take this honor as well to be in people's last moments, and just kind of be there between doors. It's filled something really essential in me, and for other people who are interested in learning more, definitely reach out. I could talk about this all day.
Yes. So magical. And definitely like on brand with the moon aspect, right? Because the moon is
True.
illuminating, it helps light the roads in the dark and the night. And so you're like the moon. And when people are in these dark moments of their life and uncertainty, you're like, hi,
This
come
is
here,
true.
come
This
work
is
with
true.
me.
That
Much
is
needed.
going to happen. And something that I really like to talk about, Sarah, is on face value, when you see us, when you see our branding, it is very, joyful because joy is still being centered here. We do think it's very important, but don't mistake that as being shallow. We go deep in both of our modalities. We go there. And I think that's why we shine even brighter in what we talk about and what we bring, because again, as above, so below, right? The the deeper you go, the higher you go. So I'm really curious with you, Sarah, when it's come to like working with people and bringing out their play. have people misjudged you, or do people's first impressions of you change as you work with them?
Absolutely. I mentioned the word play sometimes. It's become a game at this point where, you know, the great networking question, what do you do for a living? Or what do you, what is, all that. And it's like, yeah, I work in play. And they're like, okay. And I get a mix of responses. I either get, this one's rare, but people usually like hop on and like, oh man, I love playing so cool. But it's more or less the other two, which is they kind of lob it off to like something that they deem more playful, like, oh yeah, I'm a teacher. Oh yeah, I play with my kids. Or yeah, I, do this.
I feel
And they don't
you.
reclaim that for themselves.
Mm.
Or it's like I said, some alien language, which, is also fine. But they're like, play, what does that mean? Do you work with, do you work in theater? Do you work in play therapy? Do you work in this? Do you work in that? And some say, I don't play. I don't need to play. And so it's a very interesting mix of the responses when I say I work in play. And I try not to, get in my academic bag and be like, well, research shows. I'm just like, okay, I kind of see where people are in their playfulness when I mention that. But to kind of bring in what we were talking about on like the it seems fun and playful, but it really is hard work. In order for you to play freely in a way that's authentic to you, you have to do the shadow work, unless you're going to be scared of what people think of you and you're going to tell yourself you can't do X, Y, and Z, even though, our limiting beliefs and the things that we tell ourselves are often not true. And so in order for us to get to the point to where we can experience joyful liberation through play, we have to really look at ourselves and say, okay, this is what I like. I know it may be a little weird, but it makes my heart so happy. And I've loved doing it ever since I can remember. So, how do I still pour into myself in these ways? Despite the fact that people are going to make fun of me, people are going to say, what are you doing? You're going to get all this kickback. And it's like, to get to this point and to do the work that I do is to really push past that, ask the right questions, use our imagination, and say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna be me, and you're gonna hate me whether I'm me or not. So might as well be myself. You know what I mean? So, to be playful means to be rebellious, to be fearless, to be courageous. It is more than just spending time outside playing fetch with your dog or playing, Barbies with your kid. It's about really standing in your power in how you express your joy. And that's not easy. And so I don't think people realize that. And I warn them, I'm like, hey, it's going to get pretty heavy. So hope you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thank you for asking, because it is something that I don't talk about often, but there are little games that I play in my head when I do talk about play to see people's responses. It's like just because we're adults doesn't mean that we can't play. We should play more because we have agency to do that. We have adult monies, we have adult freedoms, we have adult knowledge. It's like, wow, imagine if we were all playful with all the knowledge that we had and all the resources that we have access to now. So, very, yeah.
And actually, this is the perfect segue into our next section, which is Enchant Your Life. And here we drop some tricks or resources. And I'm wondering, Sarah, like when it comes to someone that, just heard what you said, it struck a chord, and they know they're a playful person, but these last few years have just been really rough. How do they begin to tap back into this energy?
Book a session with me. No, okay. Honestly, yes. Also, visit curioussunshine.com and we can get you right. But for real, shameless but not shameless plug. Really just starting with mindfulness, right? And really figuring out what makes you happy. And there are resources that I do have on the site that can help you get there. but some simple, super easy, some super simple, easy way for you to figure out what your playfulness is to do research. Try not to be a nerd, but also I'm a nerd. So we're going to get nerdy. But there is a place called the Play Institute, and they have all this information on the studies of play, how we play as adults, as children, how play can help with relationships. You can see some of the faces behind the research done with play, and a lot of links out to other people who work in play. And actually, right now, as we're recording, April 15th, do your taxes. But April 15th is the US Play Conference is actually going on right now, and it's people from all over the world coming together to talk about play, play therapy, play toys, playgrounds, like literally anything. And I had the opportunity to present there a couple years ago, and I met some amazing people, and it just opened my eyes up to like, yeah, people are real about play. Bonus points if you're a person of color and like play, definitely hit me up, because the industry's we need more of us to show up. So if you want to learn about it, you want to get more into it, you're like, maybe the play industry is for me, down to meet more about that. Okay, thank you for listening. But Alex, what is your enchant your life trick for us as a
Yeah.
traveling goddess?
What I would like is for people to do what I call a travel inventory. So you're going to create 2 lists. One list is your dream vacation. Like if you had unlimited resources and funds, like write down, what does that atmosphere look like? Is it a specific country? What would you like to do there? Just go wild on that list. And on the second list, I want you to do a little bit of research and look up within your city, within your area, what are things available that match that? For example, I live in El Paso, Texas, and for the longest time, I was like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. That's why I left. I left for 13 years, and each time I came back just to visit my mom, I had it in my head that El Paso just didn't have what I needed. Then to find out that I lived and moved all the way to New York to find what is called a moon dance. It's a very traditional, comes from Mexico, indigenous dance for women, the danza. And I went to New York thinking that's what I had to do. Come to find out, guess what? El Paso, Texas has one too. So things that I'm like, I have to go somewhere else for it. If you just look at what you have in front of you. So I would look up any people's posts, Reddit, forums of holes in the wall, parks you never thought of, what's being developed in the art scene, and just really look at your city from like an objective point of view rather than someone that's been here. And write down things that you found that you're curious. Now, with those 2 lists, then do any crosses. Is there anything that you would have wanted to experience in Italy, but actually this Italian restaurant looks hella close and they have live music. So I would start doing that. And that is kind of what I call the gateway to travel, because you have to see travel as not just this one thing in your mind for you to have vacation, right? Like it can happen in your own backyard.
I love
That's
it. And I love what you were saying about, you said something about like, it's the things you're looking for are right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second. Let's pause right there. Oh, so good. I'm like, yes, that is so real. The things that we're looking for, the things we think we need, sometimes it's just right underneath our nose, just right in front of our face.
Mm-hmm.
So in front of our face, but we miss them.
Big
Oh,
facts.
so good. So good. All right. Are we ready to wrap this up with our last portion of our very first episode?
I just said very first episode. Yes, definitely. I'm interested to hear what your invitation to the listeners are.
Okay. So my invitation to the listeners are schedule an intentional play date. Schedule a play date with yourself, schedule a play date with your friend, your family, your partner, your cat, your dog. I don't know. I don't care. But be intentional with how you play. Do not gather with your friends and talk about who said what to you at work and your emails and oh my god, I filed my taxes like I should have, but now I owe money. No, no. Do something fun. Do not talk about that. Those problems will not. You can talk about that anytime. Schedule time aside to play. 30 minutes, a whole day, a whole weekend. Just be intentional with playing and how you spend that time with people that you love, even if the love is towards yourself.
I
All
love that.
right.
And that was one of the first homeworks that Sarah gave me in our trade. And it's fun. Like I met like random people. So, well, I'm a little bit like that, but I was like, I'm going to go do it with some random person. But, yeah, I totally recommend, totally recommend to take up that invitation.
Yes. Really is fun. All right. What invitation to listeners do you have?
Yes, my invitation to listeners is when you're doing that travel inventory and you're writing about the first list, which is, you know, your dream vacation or like your dream destination, I want you to connect with that feeling. Like what is that feeling that you have once you're going to be there? And to me, that's because travel is also like this energy. It's like a feeling that starts. And if you can start then connecting that with whatever local destination you want to do as like the intermediate step, then it can be an even more meaningful experience.
I love that. Yes. Because then it's like you program your mind almost like you Pavlovian yourself of like, that feeling I've gotten. Yes, it triggers this travel, right? And so you provide that like dopamine almost by
Yes.
allowing yourself to program that feeling into your being. So I think that's a great tip, and I am gonna do that as well. So tip for listeners and the sun.
Why is the
Okay,
sun in
are
the
we ready
meantime?
to close out?
Yes. Bring us home with your riddle, girl.
Yes. So a little fun magic, some more magic because we've already done so many magic things already. But at the end of each episode, we are going to, because I love riddles.
She does.
That's literally it. We're going to provide a riddle for you to guess what the next show's topic is. So, yes, I'm excited, and I did make this riddle myself, and I will probably make these riddles from
Please
scratch
do.
with the
Please
help
do.
of Alex
Original
confirming.
content.
Yes, the goggles. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so the riddle for the next episode topic is: I bring a futuristic twist to fun. Wires, bright colors, all in one. I can be enough for one, but better with some. The 80s is where I started from. What am I? So, if you know what it is, hey, let us know and you will know the final answer in our next episode.
Yep. Drop your guesses in the comments. We love to hear y'all. We love to hear about anything you have to say about the segments. If you're curious about us, you will find our information in the description box below. But we are so excited that y'all are here to see us. And for me, I just can't wait to continue on this journey for sure and share more of our knowledge with y'all and also learn more from you as well.
Yes, same sentiments. I agree. I feel like it's just going to be the beginning of an amazing journey. And I'm excited to get to know more about you, learn together, and also connect with our new community. So that'll be great. Yay! All right. Signing off.
Bye, y'all. Well, that was a great talk, son.
Such a great talk, Moon. Can't wait for our next conversation.
I'm ready for the next powwow. See ya. Bye.
Bye.